Hello, teachers. It is my pleasure to be speaking with you guys today. I am very thrilled to be, first of all, welcoming you guys into our district. It is a pleasure to bring in such brilliant people to bring energy and life to our district. With your guys' help, we are all going to be able to grow and succeed, all of our children as well as ourselves. One of the things that I pride on in this district is the fact that our administrators and district officials really focus in on our ability to reflect and become that reflective practitioner. When I started 8 years ago in this district, it was very, very hard for me to understand that we need to be able to look at what we do as teachers and be able to say to ourselves, yes, that is good, but is it good enough? Are we able to do even more with what we have and build on our skills so that we can be the most highly effective teacher for our students? By becoming a highly effective teacher, we are providing the best education to our students and showing them that rigor is important and that they are able to succeed and through their perseverance as well. So one of the ways that we do this is by using what we call Marshall's 7 Tips. The Highly Effective Teacher. I've got that book right here. Look at that. It's the Highly Effective Teacher, 7 classroom tested practices that foster student success. And this book is one that we will use throughout the course of this year to help each of you guys grow individually. Now, you have to remember that this is your own personal journey. So your journey is going to be different than anybody else's in this room. Okay, your journey is different than my journey, and mine is definitely different than each of yours. It all depends on what your skill set is, where you feel that you are strong, and where you feel that you may need a little bit more practice. So as we go through these next few minutes here, I want you to critically think about what you do and what your expectations are. First, what I would love to do is for you guys to think about what is that highly effective teacher? Who is it? What do they look like? How do they act? What do their lessons entail? How do they use the resources that are available to them? All of these different items here are part of Marshall's 7 tips. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to reflect on what those are and decide for ourselves, create that picture in your head of who that highly effective teacher might be. After we've done that, we're going to move on and decide, well, then how is it that we are a good teacher? Are we able to have good classroom management? What is good classroom management? Do we know how to build our environment that is going to foster collaboration and reflection? Are we going to be able to use assessments? How are all of these things related and intertwined so that we can provide the best opportunities for our students? And remember, all of this is an okay thing. None of this is bad at all. This doesn't say that, ooh, I'm a bad teacher, or hey, I need to work on this, so maybe I'm going to get a bad mark on our Marzano observations or the like. It is all just a journey, and that's what we're all here for, is to help encourage each other to do our best and to grow. All right? So as we go on, we are able to look at Marshall's tips. Sorry, I got my presenters confused. And that is tip 1 is coherent, connected learning progression. So here Marshall is discussing all of the different things that go into your lesson. The standards, are they aligned to your lessons? Do you have the clear logical sequence and make sure that you go from beginning to end? And does each idea connect to the next? Are you able to integrate those skills? Or are they only taught in isolation, so there's no generalization? What about connecting the lessons to the students' lives? That's a big one. Being able to make connections to text or to the world or even to themselves is going to help enhance that student learning. It's going to give the students a purpose for that learning, make that learning their own. And so that's going to build their ability to succeed and even with the higher ordered thinking skills that we're trying for. All right. Tip 2 is strategies, resources, and technologies that enhance learning. So, what is it that we are going to use within our lessons? Are we going to use the best technology? Are we going to actively engage the students with the resources that we have? All of these different items here are beneficial because we are able to look at increasing that student engagement. We are here to make that learning important to each individual student. Sometimes technology can get in the way. I know it's a terrible thing. It's hard to believe that a computer could be a bad thing in your lesson, but it definitely could be. Okay, and so those are items that we need to take a look at and understand whether or not we are using the most appropriate items for the lessons and skills that we are trying to teach. By doing this, we are going to be able to make sure that that student is engaged appropriately and using items that are actually going to increase their skills rather than decrease them. Tip 3 is safe, respectful, well-organized learning environment. All right, so Marshall is great with being intentional. That's a big word, intentionality. Love it. You have to make sure that anything and everything that you do within that classroom has a purpose, that you are very intentional about asking certain questions, about the placements of different items in your room, of the resources that you use, about the routines that you use in your classroom. Most of the time, students are able to learn if the classroom or the environment in which they learn is well organized. So if you are a person that likes that organized chaos, then your lessons are going to reflect that as well. And your student success is not going to be as great as somebody that is well organized and able to state what the routines are for sharpening a pencil, for asking for a Kleenex, for going to the restroom. All of those different things are going to help increase that student success. Tip 4, I like this one. This one is probably my favorite out of all of Marshall's tips. It is challenging, rigorous learning experiences. Through this tip, we learn that we need to make sure to raise the expectations of our students. We need to always I've forgotten. I am very, very sorry. Tongue-tied, huh? Okay, so we're going to go on, and maybe it will come to me. But we're going to look at the rigor, and we're going to make sure to. Oh, there it is, right there. See, I told you I would remember. Always presume competence. So you're going to always look at that highest level of rigor. What is the maximum expectation to achieve the lesson? And you're going to expect that every single student can reach that bar. Okay, it's after that those students have tried and failed that you are then offering the help. All right, this teaches the students a lot. It teaches them that it is okay to fail. It is okay to try again. It is okay to ask questions and ask for support. All of this stuff is going to help teach your students how to best behave and manage themselves in the workforce society of collaboration that we are now having today. Tip 5, interactive, thoughtful thinking. Love this one as well. Here, I always look at my class. Do 90% of my students or more participate throughout the entire lesson? What types of activities can I create that will engage students all the time? Am I always sitting there and talking to the students, or am I asking the students for their perspectives? Am I asking the students to collaborate with me and build something or experience the items before we start the lesson? Are our conversations that we have purposeful and motivating? Do they encourage others to ask questions? Do our students have the opportunity to reflect and collaborate? Look at that. Are our students asked to justify their reasoning? Again, that goes along with the higher order thinking skills, being able to raise that rigor. Can they explain why they think something is right or why it's wrong? Tip 6, creative problem-solving culture. Nowadays, we are looking at a community that always believes that things should be provided to them. All right, a lot of people are not able to even change a light bulb anymore because of the fact that people have always done it for them and they have discouraged thinking. So now what we want to do is we want to turn that around. We want those children to start thinking about how to problem solve for themselves. So when you're providing a lesson, can those children use the materials before any instruction happens so that they could start to think and to get their ideas rolling in their heads so that they can problem solve beforehand? Are they allowed to think about many multiple perspectives, that there is not just one answer, but there are 1,000 answers on how to come to a conclusion? And then the last tip is monitoring, assessment, and feedback that guide and inform instruction and learning. So when are you assessing your students? When are you creating those opportunities for that child to show you what they know? All right, that's what we really strive on in our district. We're going through the standards reference grading system. So each of your students individually can show you how well they are able to achieve the standard. And they can do that through multiple ways. It can be either obtrusive or the unobtrusive. And we want to focus in always on those unobtrusive assessments or those formative assessments, those assessments that are going to share with us the ideas and successes of each individual child. So those are the 7 tips and the reasons why we wish to include them this year for your ability to reflect upon those. By reflecting on all of these 7 tips, I guarantee you it is going to be a very fun and exciting and very tiring journey. But I can also guarantee that it will be a wonderful learning experience, not just for you, not just for your students, but for all of the teachers within your building as well. Thank you very much for all of your time, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful first year collaborating, learning, and reflecting with Marshall's 7 tips. I hope you all the best. Thank you.